What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're talking fragrance world, and not just any. There's 6 very specific ones that I feel if you're going to dive into the house and see what some of their offerings are, these are 6 of the very best, whether it's accuracy from inspirations, quality, performance, price range, any of these factors. For me personally, these are 6 of their best options that you can check out. So let's discuss them. Stay tuned. Starting with the one I've been spending so much time with lately. I've been talking about it a lot. If you've been watching the channel lately, you've heard me speak about Aether French Avenue from Fragrance World. This stuff is incredible. Fruity apple, nice and sweet, crisp type of apple. Still very fresh, a little green with a touch of spice, a lot of wood. You get a sharp cedar note here. Great everyday wear. This is great for the gym, great for business, great in the evenings, great in warm weather, just great. This might be my favorite fragrance from them. I think that's the reason I naturally wanted to start with this one first. Maybe it's, recency bias because I've been wearing it so much lately, but Aether French Avenue, this is some really good stuff, I have to say. In the realm of Parfums de Marly Greenly, very close. Similar performance, right around that average to slightly above average longevity range. Around 6 hours is what I typically get from this one. Just a beautiful option that I would highly encourage you check out. Again, that's Aether French Avenue. Looking for a beautiful woodsy vanilla fragrance? Well, fortunately, they have you covered with Spectre. Very unique bottle as well, with the bullet sliding into the side. Back of the bullet casing in the cap. It's a thick-based frosted glass. Cap holds into place. Good atomizer. Quality's decent here. Well above average performance. In the realm of a Nichonese Ani. Not quite a one-to-one fragrance, but a very close representation overall. Similar performance. Not on the exact same quality level, but budgetary version in many ways. But good stuff, man. I want to smell it again, actually. We're going to spray that one more time. That smells really good, because I'm a fan of this type of vanilla. A very woodsy, slightly boozy and benzoin heavy type of ambery vanilla, if you will. Beautiful stuff. Highly encourage you check this one out. It's not too powdery and it's also not too creamy at the same time. This is some good stuff. There was a moment when it had a lot of hype when this fragrance first came out, and I haven't really seen anything about it since, but doesn't change the fact that you can still get it for a really good price and it's still a really good fragrance. And that's Spectre Ghost. Another one that I've been talking about and singing the praises of a lot lately, very close representation of a discontinued gem in Boss Bottled Intense EDP. This is Nazih Silver. This is that warm apple pie, cinnamon spiced, sharp woods. Man, very close representation. Above average performance. I wouldn't call this some monstrous beast, but average to above average type of range, 6 to 8 hours in longevity. If you like that style of fragrance, this is probably the best option to go with versus getting that overpriced at resale discontinued gem. Now, if you can get the original, go with the original. But for the money, for in the $30 price point range, it's about as accurate of a depiction as you're going to get. I mean, I feel like I'm smelling the same fragrance every time I spray this one. Admittedly, a little bit more powdery than the real deal, but good stuff. I keep talking about this one for a reason, because it's one that I highly encourage you checking out if you like Boss Bottled, especially looking for the greatest of all the Boss Bottled, Intense EDP. This is their twist on it. Again, that's Nazih Silver. Do you like the Y DNA, but don't want to spend, like 80, 90 bucks on a 60 ml? Well, for around 30 bucks, you can get 100 ml of Parfum, wildly accurate. This is slightly more fresh and spicy. Like, you get a little bit more ginger out of this, and the dry down's a little bit more of a creamy musk than the original, but overall I would call it 90+% accurate. And it's such a great representation. When I do get in the mood for Wild Parfum, I actually wear this more than the original. I don't know why. Subconsciously, I couldn't give you the reasoning for it, because I could just wear the original, and this is the rare instance where I actually just reach for this instead. So you're going to get some beautiful citrus. You still get the aldehydes, that fizzy, fresh, bubbly top. It's aromatic. It's fresh and spicy, like I said, from the ginger. A creamy type of muskiness in the dry down with a little hint of woods. It's beautiful. It's versatile. It's very blue. Very blue, very crowd pleasing, year-round signature scent type of stuff. This is, you know, for the longest time, my favorite from Fragrance World, and probably my number 2 at this point because I really love Aether, but Parfum, it's fantastic. Not one-to-one. It's going to be pretty obvious when you see this bottle what they were going for. It's similar. It gives you that boozy, spicy smell, but there's a lot more of an amber and warm woody tone to this one versus what it's inspired by. This is Proud of You Absolute, in the realm of Stronger With You Absolutely. Not the same fragrance. Definitely potent though. This is a strong one. I actually sprayed this yesterday when I was gathering these fragrances up for this video. It's a close representation, and unmistakably Stronger With You Absolutely, but I would say maybe 80%, 75, 80% accurate because of the woody dominance, the hefty amber tone. It's not as boozy, but it still has all the sweetness, spice, has that roasted chestnut smell that they don't list in every single fragrance, but I'm convinced it's in every fragrance in the line because it's part of the base DNA, and they list it in like half of them or better. I feel like this represents that particular DNA pretty well without being exactly perfect. If you want the real deal, I would encourage you get the real deal if you're looking for the actual experience. But if you want a, you know, very close representation, a similar experience for basically a third of the cost, maybe a little bit less, and this is easier to find than the real one, then I would suggest checking this out. But still, of course, as for all of these, whatever they're inspired by, the original is definitely the way to go. But for a fraction of the cost, if you want a close option, without being exactly the same, fragrances like Proud of You Absolute will get you there. Last but not least, another one I have championed for quite a while on this channel because it is a pretty close representation. Out in the air, pretty hard to tell a difference. Again, I would still say go with the original over this, but if you're looking to spend less money and get something extremely similar, get Essencia Homme Parfum, very similar to Le Parfum. Warm, spicy, powdery, ambery. You get this nice spiced cardamom type of smell. Sweet tonka bean. It's really, really good stuff. Smells a bit more synthetic. Don't get me wrong, it does smell a little bit cheaper, but it is a little bit cheaper. Not a lot cheaper, honestly, because you get this for around 30 bucks. Again, similar experience, not the exact same experience, but for a fraction of the cost, it's definitely good enough. It really is. I did a full review on this one a while back, maybe a little over a year ago. This is a really good option here. It's been a while since I've worn it myself, but this is some of their best work. That's why it had to be featured here. This particular fragrance is indeed why this wasn't a 5 and it was a 6 fragrance list instead, because I just could not leave this off. I didn't want to list it as 5 and throw an honorable mention. Let's just call it what it is. We're talking 6 fragrances, and it's because this is such a good option. It deserved a spot just as much as these other 5. So if you're looking for a relatively close experience to Le Parfum, while not being the exact same experience, for around 30 bucks, you can get Essencia Homme Parfum. Well, that's my 6 personal favorites from Fragrance World. Do I have more than that? Oh yeah, I have more than double this. I would say I have about 14, 15 fragrances from them at this point. All pretty good. There's others that could have potentially made this, but these are just personal preference. These are personal favorites of mine. So I felt they deserved the spotlight. I'll try to have links down below for any of these if you're interested in checking them out. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What's some of your favorites from Fragrance World? Definitely let me know down in the comments section. Until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 6 that I feature in this video and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.